As we wind down the end of the 2010s and start the 2020s, it's time to reflect the decade that was and take a look at some of the best rock albums of the last 10 years. Rock definitely evolved over the last decade, with certain acts really pushing the envelope forward and taking music in new and interesting directions, while other acts looked to the lessons taught by rock's forefathers and brought some of the old school sounds back into style. Without further ado, here are the top 10 best rock albums of the decade. Number 10, Highly Suspect, The Boy Who Died Wolf. Highly Suspect turned some heads with their debut disc, but their sophomore set, The Boy Who Died Wolf, ensured that they were one of rock's brightest new bands with a promising future. The album was rooted in a late 90s post-grunge sound, with the band introducing the fuzzed-out single My Name Is Human and the stream of conscious cut Serotonia as its initial entries. A solid blend of upbeat rockers such as Look Alive, Stay Alive, and Postress, melded with more somber moments on For Billy and Little One, make this journey worth taking and providing some variety for the listener. Number 9, My Chemical Romance, Danger Days, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. My Chemical Romance's fourth album was in many ways the polar opposite of its predecessor, The Black Parade. Whereas their last album was shrouded in darkness, Danger Days, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys was doused in color with vibrant tracks like Na 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 and Planetary Go, bringing a sense of fun to the new world the band had created. Dig a little deeper though, and this album remained vintage MCR at its core. From the thrilling rebellion of Bulletproof Heart to the contemplative reflection of The Kids from Yesterday, Danger Days brims with the emotional heart that saw My Chemical Romance become global superstars. Number 8, Puscifer, Conditions of My Parole. Puscifer has been Maynard James Keenan's main musical priority for the last decade, but it's still viewed by many as Keenan's third best band in the holy trilogy of Tool, A Perfect Circle, and Puscifer. Puscifer's early work was more bizarre than Adult Swim at 3 a.m., but their greatness really began to shine with Conditions of My Parole. Conditions is a damn near perfect blend of ethereal rock and post-industrial ambience, keeping Puscifer's sense of humor intact while extending into endless beauty. Monsoons and Oceans will bring you to tears, while the album's title track will leave you stiff with laughter. Number 7, Foo Fighters, Wasting Light. In a singles era, Foo Fighters embraced the album format in such a way that many had since tossed aside. Wasting Light was painstakingly constructed over tape rather than using Pro Tools, and the band has never sounded more in their element than on this record. It's also one of their deepest records in terms of songcraft, whether it be the standout single Walk, the ferocity of Rope and White Limo, the touching single These Days, or deeper album standouts such as Arlandria and Bridge Burning. It's rare that it happens this late in a band's career, but Wasting Light deserves to be in consideration as their best musical work. Number 6, Marilyn Manson, The Pale Emperor. Now in a creative uptick, Marilyn Manson took advantage of the momentum and delivered one of the true standout albums of the decade. The Pale Emperor is brimming with vitality, thanks to cuts such as the sinister Deep Six, the Mephistopheles of Los Angeles, and the ominously dark and raw Third Day of a 7-Day Binge. Manson also gives us the darkly infectious Cupid Carries a Gun, scales it back with the catchy and confessional Faded, Faithful, Fatal, and shows his angst on the album closing Fall of the House of Death. It's a dark journey, but one that comes with depth and vulnerability. Number 5, Baroness, Yellow and Green. During the 21st century, much of America's most exciting metal has been birthed in our southern swamps. Baroness came up with fellow Georgian titans such as Mastodon and Kylisa, but with Yellow and Green, Baroness completed one of modern music's most important metal-to-rock evolutions. There's no filler at all in the double album, painting vastly different soundscapes with each vinyl flip. Standouts such as March to the Sea, Cocainium, and Board Up the House are just a few essential tracks that deliver cathartic euphoria and melancholy. Number 4, Alice in Chains, The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. Black Gives Way to Blue was a fantastic comeback for Alice in Chains, but it's The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here that saw the band's return to the rainy Seattle winter. The 2013 album is one of the decade's best collections of riffs, sporting gigantic leads on songs such as Hollow, Stone, and Phantom Limb, walking a tightrope between 90s alt and modern stoner metal. Alice in Chains' 2010s discography towers above any of their contemporaries, earning them a unique longevity as grunge survivors. Number 3, Deftones, Diamond Eyes. What a journey Deftones took en route to their 2010 album. After bassist Chi Chang was involved in an auto accident that left him in a semi-comatose state, the group scrapped their Eros album and started fresh. Welcoming fill-in bassist Sergio Vega, the group approached their music in a more immediate manner, and the results showed in one of their most vibrant releases to date. The crushingly heavy yet beautiful title track, the guitar and percussion-driven brutality of Rocket Skates, and the supreme swing of You've Seen the Butcher garnered the most attention, but Diamond Eyes is a journey best taken with a great pair of headphones and enjoyed front to back. Number 2, Queens of the Stone Age, Like Clockwork. Queens of the Stone Age's Like Clockwork is the biggest creative step of the band's 2-decade history, blending elements of rockabilly, dark blues, stoner rock, and psychedelic experimentation. Though Like Clockwork features guest performances from Elton John, Trent Reznor, Dave Grohl, and others, the creative spotlight is placed directly on Queens of the Stone Age, who created a timeless masterpiece with their 6th album. Birthed out of a near-death experience for Josh Homme, Like Clockwork reaches classic Radiohead levels of artsy brilliance and mass appeal. Number 1, Stone Sour, House of Golden Bones Part 1. In 2012, Stone Sour had established themselves as a separate entity from Slipknot, but hadn't quite yet taken over the rock world. Then came the band's double album, House of Golden Bones. The first part arrived in 2012, commanding the attention of listeners with the double single Gone Sovereign and its companion Absolute Zero. The album proved a major artistic step forward, helping to weave a conceptual idea across both pieces of work. Other House of Golden Bones Part 1 standouts include the triumphant single Tired and Taciturn, a track that showed the group could hit hard even when not rocking out at 11. The better piece of the double album proved that Stone Sour were a force to be reckoned with, and they continued to thrive throughout the decade.